What's up, everyone? I'm Jack Matrani, and welcome to the Road to X Games Boise Park Qualifier. We have coming up 12 of the world's best men's skateboard park athletes competing for only 6 precious spots for X Games Minneapolis 2017. A lot on the line, so you're not going to want to miss this. Coming right up.
The best park skateboarders on the planet have invaded the city of trees. What's up and welcome to the Road to X Games. It's our men's skateboard park qualifier. Brandon Graham alongside Jimmy Coleman coming to you from Boise, Idaho. Rhodes Skatepark to be exact. 6 spots up for grab, Jimmy, trying to get into the men's skateboard park final at X Games Minneapolis.
Yeah, basically, these guys are all powerhouses in the field here. Park is such a vast discipline. There's so many good athletes out there, and any given day, anybody can take it. But these guys are hungry here today, trying to challenge for one of those spots to earn the right to go compete in Minneapolis.
The last several years, the 2 names you've kept your eyes on in this event, Pedro Barros and Curran Caples. Those guys have already qualified into X Games Minneapolis. Who are some of the names we should watch out for today?
Well, Tom Shar is a beast right now. That guy is on fire and coming off of a big win, the Vans competition just a couple of weeks ago. He is one to watch for here, and he's looking pretty solid in practice. But one guy to keep an eye on, Clay Kriner.
Yeah.
He's already got himself 2 invites to Minneapolis. He's going to be competing in Skateboard Big Air, and he earned a vert invite a couple of weeks ago. But he's looking very, very solid out there in course and using some of those vert skills in the deep corner pockets here on this course.
Will Clay make it the trifecta in X Games Minneapolis? We find out today. For more on today's final, we head down to the 3rd member of our team, Corbin Harris.
Yeah, guys, thanks very much. The cobwebs are definitely away now. These guys are firing. After 20 guys battling it out to the top 12 here today, only 6 guys are going to make it through. The consensus is everyone is loving the park so far. They've just got to stay on their lines and get that first one in the bag. And once they get that first run done, then they're going to have the confidence to move on and do the better tricks in the 2nd and 3rd run.
Well, thank you, Corbin. It's the first time X Games has touched down here in the Gem State, but safe to say these athletes have felt the warmest welcome here in the Boise crowd. There's a look at our finals format. 12 skaters out here today, traditional finals runs, 3 of them, 45 seconds each. We count the best score, and oh, by the way, top 6 qualifying to X Games Mini.
Yeah, half of the field are going to be moving on to compete at the big show there in Minnesota, and I like what Corbin said. You want to get out there, you want to get that first run out of the way, so it takes the pressure off, but if it doesn't work out, you've got 2 more shots at it there. Checking out the gentlemen here that are surveying the action, our judges there. You got Lincoln Ueda of Vert fame on your left-hand side right there. In the middle, you've got the Neils, or Neil Squared as I like to call it. You got Neil Mims and Neil Hendricks, and then your head judge over there on the right-hand side there. That is Mike Sinclair.
Oh, we've got an insane crowd on hand here at Rhodes Skatepark. Let's meet our roster for the finals today. We kick things off. You ready to root for a local hero, Jimmy Coleman? How about Dalton Beeson out of Boise, Idaho?
The only native competing in all 3 of the park qualifier disciplines here today, and nobody knows this park better than him. The Welcome to Bacon Skateboards team video part of him was filmed right here at Rhodes Skatepark.
Following that up, one of our 2 X Games medalists in the field today out of Livermore, California, Brad Mcclain.
Yeah, he's got 4 prior X Games appearances. He's got himself a park bronze medal from back in Barcelona in 2013.
Here's 19-year-old Willie Lara. You might remember him from the Barracks in Transition video contest that he won outright.
This guy's a pool skater, likes to go hard through the corners, big vert extensions, and keep an eye out on him.
This is one of our favorite stories of the day. 26 years old, Chris Gregson. Not only is he skating in this contest, he is filming. He is our skate filmer today, double dipping.
Yeah, and he makes it here into the finals. He says, hey, I've been trying to make a career out of doing both skating and filming. Well, now you get a chance to earn yourself an invite to Minneapolis.
And next up, the youngest competitor in our field, just 13 years young, out of LA, Asher Bradshaw.
Became the youngest skater to land a 900 at age 10 on the vert ramp at Woodward West, but this kid can rip some pools and finished 9th earlier this year at the Vans Pool Party Finals.
Here's a guy who's coming in oh so hot out of Simpsonville, South Carolina, 20 years old, already qualified for a spot in vert. He'll also be competing in big air. Can he make it? 3 events in X Games Minneapolis, Kriner.
Well, we talked about him at the top of the show. He's got those vert skills, and they work to his advantage in that deep vert corner over there. So look out, keep an eye on Clay Kriner.
18-year-old coming in hot with some Vans events under his belt. Top 10 finishes out of Rialto, California. Tristan Rennie.
Grew up skating backyard pools in his hometown and surrounding areas known as the Badlands from as early as age 5.
Our lone Italian in the field, making his presence known on this X Games stage. 18 years old, Ivan Federico.
Taking a first place in the Australian Bull Riding Championships in February of this year. He skates fast, aggressive, with style, and watch out for technical flip tricks.
Here's a guy who just missed out on the X Games podium last year, settling for 4th place. He is a force in the bowl out of Lake Worth, Florida, Alex Argenta.
He has become a podium regular on the international contest scene, and this guy skates fast as well with power, and he fires off rapid-fire tricks.
Relative newcomer here to this comp, 17 years old out of San Diego, California, Corey Juneau.
Won the 2017 Bolorama down in Bondi and finished 2nd at the 2017 Vans Pool Party.
Here is a young man that I know we're all excited to watch out of Honolulu, Hawaii. 18 years old, the flying Hawaiian, Hamana Reynolds.
Spends as much time on a surfboard as he does skating, and man, he was just cruising through this course yesterday and all smiles, having a good time out here in Boise.
And rounding out our group of 12, the most decorated in this field, 17 years old, trying to make his 9th X Games appearance in Minneapolis out of Cardiff, California, Tom Schaar.
He's a 5-time X Games medalist, Brandon. He became the youngest big air gold medalist in history in 2014 at age 14. But lately, he has been focusing on park skating, and he is a force to be reckoned with in park and pool courses. Skates fast, and with that vert experience, that translates very well into this course here in Idaho.
6 spots up for grabs to get into X Games Minneapolis. Chris Russell, Curran Caples, Pedro Barros, they're already in. They finished 1, 2, and 3 at X Games Austin last year. Who will be joining them today?
Well, half the field gets to go to the big party up there July 13th through the 16th at the U.S. Bank Stadium. But basically, what it's all going to come down here to here today, we introduced you to the judges a little while ago. They're looking for the bigger picture, if you will. You get 3 45-second runs, as you mentioned earlier. It's the best run that counts, but they're looking for a wide variety of things. They're looking for difficulty level of the tricks. They're looking for flow, continuity. They want to see you using as much of the course as humanly possible. It's a really big course out here, and they want to see you try to use and incorporate as much of that as you can into your run, and of course, no falls.
So we're set to kick things off here at Rhodes Skatepark in Boise, Idaho. This park right underneath the Interstate 184. And it's been really neat to see Boise embrace X Games here today. A packed crowd, and I think they'll be loudest for our first skater to drop in. The hometown hero from Boise, Idaho, Dalton Beeson.
Well, I tell you what, it's never fun being the first guy out of the gate in a competition, but when you got the hometown crowd behind you, that'll help alleviate some of the nerves as Dalton starts it off here. Again, 3 45-second runs here today, your best run that counts, boosting a big frontside boneless there. The big frontside air coming off of the end of that deep wall there, into that little hip where they put the river stones in for the coping.
And again, no one knows this bowl better than Dalton Beeson.
And then that 50-50 just kind of slingshot through the corners there. Backside over the hip with an invert, tuck knee grab on that invert there. So cruising back up to the smaller section here. Got a couple of smaller transitions there, some street style elements up on the deck, and that wall ride up on the support column for the 184 freeway above us. Has to jump off of that one there, but not a bad way to start it off here in front of your hometown crowd.
He knows every nook and cranny in this bowl, and he utilized the entire course. It'll be interesting to see what he's got up his sleeve for run number 2, but a nice solid first drop in for the rookie.
Boosting that backside air over the hip. There's that tuck knee inverts towards the middle portion of the run and just kind of pump through the corners there, going up to the, I call it the top side of the course because you're kind of skating away from our vantage point there and going up to the smaller elements there.
A 58.33 for Beeson, so the bar officially set. Dropping in now, 26-year-old Brad Mcclain.
Starts it off, boosting a big frontside stalefish over that hip, and then a frontside 270 alley-oop in that one. And I like, he works through that deep corner, and then gets right back up to the top part of that course there. So that'll play into that use of course, little nugget I was talking about there with what the judges are looking for.
He was an alternate last year, or excuse me, in 2015. The last time we saw Mcclain on the X Games stage, 2014 in Austin, when he just missed the podium, finishing in 4th.
Stylish backside lip slide, almost running out of real estate right there. Rock and roll up on top of that wall ride. There is not a lot of deck up there. I mean, you don't have a lot of room, so basically the nose of the board is pretty much going to be scraping the support pillar when you go up on top of that thing.
And lest we forget, Mcclain had to qualify in on his final attempt in eliminations yesterday.
You know, a lot of those guys yesterday had to get it done in their final attempt, but this was a great first run for him. Again, you get 3, and, you know, Corbin talked about this earlier. You want to get that first one out of the way early on. Watch this one. 5-0 to fakie going around that corner. Now, what you don't see right there, there's a little lip just under the coping right there. We call that a love seat right there. Up on that deck, there's not a lot of real estate up there. The nose of the board scraping that support column right there. That's why I got a little fired up about that. I get excited when you see lip tricks up on that. There's not a lot of room.
Yeah, Jimmy, settle down. It's going to be a long final, my goodness. A 74 for Mcclain, very strong.
I had a lot of coffee before we got going. I'm excited.
Oh, we know. Next to drop in out of Moore Park, California, Willie Lara, who really first arrived on the comp scene just a couple of years ago when he was the top qualifier at the Van Doren Invitational at Huntington Beach. And we've seen him as a regular at the Vans Park Series ever since then. And as we said, the winner of the Barracks 2017 In Transition Video Contest. So he has the pedigree.
Well, I talked about style, and this gentleman's got plenty of it, as you see by that stylish backside ollie to start it off. But then wall number 2 just doesn't work out for him. You know, for being relatively new to the pro ranks, he definitely doesn't carry himself like a newbie. He's just calm, cool, and collected out there. After the fall, get back up, reset, don't give up, keep on trucking, if you will. You get to use all of the time here. Trail slide through that deep end. The front side ollie. There's a Madonna. If you're going front side, it's a lean air 1-footer, smacking the tail down. Check out the style there again as he just kind of slides through that wall right. So he knows with that fall you're going to need more than that. But again, getting up, using the rest of that time, just kind of follow through, if you will. Get your mind back on track because there's a lot of time that elapses in between your first and your second run.
Each skater getting 3 attempts at this course. We count the best score. Good to knock the rust off on attempt number 1, but you would assume Willie was hoping for a little bit more there on his first attempt.
And the old trail slide right there. You're turning front side, grabbing with your trail hand just in front of your lead foot there and slide that one ever so slightly across the coping. I like the style. He makes it look good while he's doing it. He makes it look easy.
Willie Lara, 51.66. Our next skater to drop in will have to drop the pack and the camera off and grab the skateboard that he will be riding for his run. Chris Gregson, from follow cam to competitor, trying to earn a spot in the X Games Minneapolis.
Just think, now he doesn't have to do this with the cam pack on his back, so that cam pack's almost like cardio training. Gets in there with a frontside Smith, up there the deep end frontside ollie on that hip feature, taking that Smith grind the opposite direction, going backside there, so you got a frontside Smith and a backside Smith. How about a frontside blunt? The blunt, you're locking your tail up on the top of the obstacle there, just ollieing off, taking that one front side.
Gregson, our tallest competitor in the field, 6'3", and he looks every bit of it skating this ball.
So working the high and the low of the course there. Let's see what he wraps up this last little bit of time with. How about front side blunt to front side disaster. So combining 2 tricks in one and then a lean disaster. Grabbing lean, which is your lead hand, grabbing on the heel edge of the board, turning front side. There's that front side tail slide right there. Watch this, the front side Smith. That one was pretty. Here's the blunt, and then kicks it into disaster. Little 2-in-1 combo move there, and then you see how he just kind of throws the forehead back
All
to
right,
get the hair out of
Chris,
the eyes.
we enjoyed your first run, but you're back on the clock. Let's go.
I wonder if they're going to take that 45 seconds out of his per diem today.
A 64.66, so a strong first run score. It's early, but it puts him into second place. The versatility of Chris Gregson, second to none here in today's final.
If you're watching at home, we weren't kidding. He's actually the follow cam guy, so
Yeah.
he's actually taken more runs than anybody out here.
The road to X Games, dreams do come true.
Alex is holding the camera for him right there. Thumbs up, giving you the Slayer horns right there.
So
pretty happy about that. You should be, sir.
From our tallest competitor to our shortest and youngest, Asher Bradshaw, who really put it down just a few weeks ago at the vert qualifier. He did not move on, but multi-talented. We also see him hitting the streets. Asher Bradshaw, the youngest to ever land a 900.
Yeah, did that at the vert ramp out there at Woodward West, just outside of Tehachapi, California. This young man, remember his name. You're going to be hearing it a lot in skateboard competitions for years to come. He's got the trick variety, he's got the depth, and he's got the style as he boosts that frontside air right into
Wow!
it. Backside 540. I'm not just shouting random numbers out there. That's 1.5 rotations there. 540 degrees of rotation and making it look easy.
Style for days. Asher in his signature beanie, looking like a man out here today. All of 13 years old, showing no problem with this course, Jimmy.
Just see him kind of throw his arms up a little bit there. I think he got lost as he was coming down to the deep end there. I don't know if he knew how much time he had left. How about the frontside flip that he gets in there, frontside ollie over the hip, and that is a full pull for the 13-year-old. He just shrugs his shoulders as he gets out.
You think you got a fan favorite here in Boise? Wow.
Got 9th at the Vans Pool Party Pro in May, just last month. Watch this one. Out of that frontside air, do you see how he kind of winds up for that? You're grabbing backside, grabbing behind that foot. There's the front side kick flip, and that one almost got away from him. Save that one there. You see the trucks kind of gave him a little bit of a waggle there, but he manages to hang on. Get that young man some water right there. He just worked up a thirst there in that 45 seconds.
Asher Bradshaw making some noise on his first attempt here in the men's park qualifier. What did the judges think of that one? A 70.66, good enough for second place. Wow.
Well, only 2 guys to score in the 70s thus far. So as you mentioned, slides him into that number 2 position. Still lots of skating to go here in this round. Remember, it's your best out of 3 runs and half the field getting invited to compete in park in Minneapolis.
So here's Clay Kriner out of South Carolina, skated so well in the vert qualifier just a couple of weeks ago.
This young man is a powerhouse. Not only does he have some insane tricks, but it's just the way that he styles it out. It's the energy. Just look at his flow. Look at his continuity as he works through this park here. Lands everything with confidence, with authority.
And he's not a guy that wants to be put in a box. He's skating in big air and vert at X Games Minneapolis. Can he make it 3 events today?
Well, there's some of those vert skills as he goes for that lean to tail up on top of that wall ride, the support column wall ride, and then just gets, that was kind of weird to see him get hung up on that grind over there in the corner. That was off to pretty much the format that he's been working with, watching him in practice the last couple of days. That was the run that I've been watching him put down, so it was odd to see him get hung up on that grind at the end. However, powerhouse. I like the Clay Kriner style. I'm a fan.
Kriner is absolutely a guy, as we take another look.
Frontside stale fish into an alley-oop frontside boneless.
That we expect to see in this top 6. We'll have some work to do on runs 2 and 3, but you see him laying the groundwork for a very, very strong run.
Well, that stale fish you're grabbing with your trail hand, kind of in front of your trailing foot. You're turning front side, but he kind of like throws that back leg out, kind of puts that knee almost down on the grip tape to tweak that one out a little bit for extension points there. And then the alley-oop front side boneless. That's a foot plant, grabbing with your trailing hand, planting your front foot, and alley-oop, you're drifting the opposite direction that you're turning. So a little bit of a 2-trick-in-1 combo there.
A 66 for Kriner, good enough for 3rd. So here's Tristan Remy.
Look at that stat. 2014 Vans combi pool party winner. That is that's nothing to thumb your nose at right there. That's a huge stat.
That was back in 2014 when he was all of 15 years old. He's got some top 10 finishes this year to his name.
Now watch this guy cruise through the corners here. Up on, oh, a little bit of a body jar there. Kind of drags that tail on the lip of that wall right feature there. About a blunt slide, 180 coming around that love seat there. Grabbing backside, that's a 360 coming in fakie. Fakie is one of those terms you'll hear a lot. It's whenever you go into a trick backwards or land it backwards. Using that wall right feature again, a little frontside ollie with a nose bonk or front trunk bonk, if you will. Again, you look at the style. You go kind of, the alley-oops a little bit into that Indy air. The Indy, it's the trail hand grab. It's around your trailing leg. It's a backside turn, and he just kind of like pivots, stops in the air, and then just kind of drops down.
And Jimmy, I know we're early into the contest. We saw it out of Dalton Beeson, which makes sense because this is his home bowl. But we saw it out of Brad Mcclain, who's in the top spot. Those two guys really seem to utilize the entire course as well as anyone we've seen so far today.
You know, and that's one of those things, like there's a lot to choose from out here, you know, and sometimes you kind of get stuck down there in the deeper end using some of those bigger features and whatnot, but the judges are looking at that. That's one of the things in their overall criteria. Obviously, it's an overall impression. It's a bunch of things as we talked about earlier, but that definitely does play into one of the major components that they're looking at here today.
Well, Rennie taking over the top spot with a strong run one score of 78.66.
Well, you see how he kind of, I don't want to, this is kind of a weird term to use, but cruise. Cruise kind of almost sounds like he's not really trying, but that's his style. He just flows through there, and it looks that effortless.
Hey, Curran Caples has a few X Games medals to his name for doing just that. Here is our lone Italian in the field, 18 years old, Ivan Federico.
Kind of getting lost there behind that pillar from our vantage point. There's the follow cam shot right there. His backside ollie over that hip, and with a kickflip body jar. Wow, wow, wow. Board flipping, then you grab the nose. The body jar is a backside air where you smack the tail on the lip of the ramp on the way back in, or in this case, the lip of the bowl. So the kickflip body jar.
Jimmy,
tricks in one.
Dating back to last year, Ivan has 7 top 3 finishes. This kid's got the pedigree to compete out here today.
He does, and he's going to have to, unfortunately, take that pedigree into round 2 and 3 there with a couple of falls, though. But if he's able to get one of those top 6 spots, it would be his first X Games appearance if we do see him up there in Minneapolis. He definitely has the skills to do it. First, the Australian Bull Riding Championships in February of this year. Second at the Vans Park Series down in Brazil 2 months ago in April. So he's got the chops for it, that's for sure.
Well, our next skater to drop in has 5 X Games appearances under his belt. It seems like he's warming up. Every year he's steadily increasing his standings positions. 5th place in 2015, a 4th place last year. Can he get on the podium in 2017? Well, he's gonna have to earn a spot to even compete there. He's gotta do it here today. He's Alex Argenta.
Well, you know, one of the bullet points we said in the lineup for his intro once we started this competition, I mean, he is a powerhouse and has become a podium regular on the international contest scene. But watch how fast this young man will put tricks together in the middle of a run. Working towards that wall ride feature with the blunt. That is tall. There's probably about 2, maybe 2.5 feet of vert on that thing. And a massive body jar. Again, that's a backside air. You're grabbing the nose. You hit the tail on the way back in the caballerial, coming up fakie. Basically a 360 ollie, but a frontside tail stall, 180 out. So again, high speed, putting some tech in there, making it all look way, way too easy.
Sorgente comes correct on his first run.
That blunt up on top of that wall ride support column was gnarly. When you look at that thing, you're like, all right, it's pretty tall, but it's got vert on it. If you're sitting at home going, what does that mean? It means where there's a huge chunk of it that just straight up and down. Look at that. That might be 3 feet of vert.
That is gnarly.
That's an actual support column for a freeway bridge, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not kidding when I say that. We're underneath the 184 interchange
here. The I-184 in the City of Trees. Alex Sorgente putting down a very strong run one. We'll see if the judges agreed. Rennie in first place right now with that 78.66.
Well, you just got a snippet of the trick arsenal of Alex Argenta, ladies and gentlemen, from Lake Worth, Florida. So as you mentioned, knocking on the door of the podium last year in Austin at Park, finished out in 4th place just behind Chris Russell. He too, out of the Mike Rogers Grind for Life skate events down in the state of Florida, where he has cut his teeth over the years, if you will. So what's it going to be? Judges are obviously talking.
We have a new leader, 80.33. Alex jumping up into the top spot, and rightfully so. What a great first run.
Did you see he just kind of was like, oh, all right, I'll see you in round 2, everybody.
Well, he's been there before, and you can tell. And here's a guy who's trying to get there, 17-year-old Corey Juno.
2nd place at the Vans pool party just last month. Earned him some credibility and his podium potential. Again, fast skater here, and he can boost that frontside ollie there. Oh, up on that wall ride with the backside disaster there. Again, not a lot of real estate to work with on the lip tricks up on top of that wall ride. 1 foot frontside ollie. How about a frontside nose grind? Again, with that pool coping, it's different. It's porous. Sometimes it'll grab your truck and it can slow you down. So you kind of got to power through these pool coping grinds. How about a frontside pivot? It's a walk in the park for him, but still, that's gnarly to be in a frontside pivot. A pivot, you're basically stalling on one of your trucks up on top of a structure, and that is a mighty structure to be stalling up on top of. You're getting a bird's eye view of the pigeon roost up there.
Corey Juno, welcome to the X Games stage.
Look at that.
Didn't close it out the way he was hoping to, but other than that, a very clean run 1.
It's backside nose blunt there. That frontside nose grind just kind of powering through that pool coping. Obviously, the metal coping slides a little bit better than the pool coping, so you just got to kind of power your way through in there. But the pool coping, it makes a really awesome sound when you're grinding through it.
A 72.33 for Juno, jumping him up into 4th again. 6 spots up for grabs to get into X Games Minneapolis. Who will earn them? We find out here today.
Look at the crowd that we've got out here on hand. Boise has turned out en masse today to check out the road to X Games.
And here's a guy that I think is going to get this crowd going. We watched him set it off in eliminations yesterday. Simply put, he flies out of this bowl. 18 years old, Hamana Reynolds.
Watch him just cruise through here with a super tall frontside invert. Overextends that one. Wowzers, he's straight leg that one. Jeff Grosso would have been proud of that one right there. What a frontside disaster. He's just fast, he's got the style. And just all smiles out there all week long. One of the happiest guys on wheels. How about a frontside flip? Look at him smiling out there. There's that Madonna. Got a frontside air coming back over the hip there the other way. What's he gonna go to the frontside air grab into disaster? So pretty much going with the formula that's been working for him in all of his practice runs and in qualifying yesterday. And how about a nose grab move?
A straight fire run
Nose
for
grab,
Reynolds.
540 over the hip, or I guess at that point, I guess you'd call it a 450 because he's going over the hip there. Wowzers.
So Hamana Reynolds, 18 years old, run number 1 here in the finals, is not messing around.
Here's an interesting stat. He's actually been to the X Games before. Back in 2010, there was a Disney XD thing called Summer Next.
Oh, that's right. X
He was
Games
the winner.
Next.
He was the winner of that. He was mentored by Rune Glifberg, who was a 12-time X Games medalist, by the way.
It's about as good as it gets.
So what that meant was he got to be the pre-runner in the park contest that year. So
Oh,
he's
my
actually
goodness.
gotten out there and done this before on the stage. It wasn't judged. He was a lot younger. He got to go out there and do this. It was 7 years ago. But he has been to the big show before. And he put on a big show there in that run.
Hamana Reynolds out of Honolulu, Hawaii. That felt like a first place run. We'll see if the judges agree. And 82, they absolutely do.
Good call.
As Hamana takes over the top spot.
So he edges out by a little more than 1.5 points. He edges out Alex Sorgente for that.
He's got 5 X Games medals. He's known for his big air skating, but if you talk to him, he'll tell you, hey, it's all about versatility for me. I like to skate absolutely everything. Here's Tom Shar in his own words.
I still love skating mega. It's really fun. And I mean, that's like what I got started on, so I can't leave that. And yeah, hopefully I qualify for park. I really love park now too. It's a lot of fun, and just trying to do as much as I can.
Well, when he says mega, he's talking about the big air competition. So he's already in, as you saw by that graphic before the soundbite. He's already in for big air.
Right.
Well, he'd love a park invite.
He's got 5 X Games medals. 4 of them are in big air. But we'll watch him out here today. His park skating just continues to improve each year. We expect him in Minneapolis skating park, that's for sure.
So we've seen a couple of guys do some lip tricks up on top of that wall ride quarter pipe feature there. And I'm going to keep saying it, there's not a lot of room up there. You don't have a lot of real estate for your board to go over there. And he popped into that frontside disaster like it was nothing. How about a 540 in the deep end there, losing his hat in the process. I'm sure at some point he'll rip through this bowl corner and scoop it back up on the way back through. He was thinking about it after that stalefish. Did you see him looking at his hat there in the flat bottom? And he is just on a tear here, just going through this with the greatest of ease.
It's been so neat to really see Shar grow up on the X Games stage. We saw him at 12 years old, and now we're seeing him grow as a skater and physically. I mean, the kid's almost just about 6 feet tall, and you can tell in his skating. So much more strength, so much more power, so much more confidence.
See him powering through that frontside tail slide. And there you go, winding up with that backside 5. Backside, you're grabbing on the heel edge of the board. In this case, he was grabbing behind the foot to spin around 1.5 rotations there. Oh,
Look at that, my goodness, that's
no
no middle of the mall trick.
I didn't see
right
the
there,
shove it
Jimmy
disaster
Coleman.
at real-time speed, and out of that with a frontside 180 blunt. Wow, wow, wow.
And 88.66. Tom Shar takes a commanding lead.
See Alex Sorgente patting him on the back. That bumps Alex down to 3rd. But our top 3 guys right now, Brandon, at the end of round 1 are in the 80s with their scores.
Well, that is remarkable. Run 1 officially in the books, and it's Tom Shar leading the way with that huge 88.66 he just put down on run number 1. As we said before, Chris Gregson is our follow cam. He's also competing in the event. I'd love to pick his brain. We head down to Corbin Harris.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Right next to me here, this guy's double dipping. Talk to us about that. You're also filming all the athletes out here today. Chris Gregson.
Well, I wasn't even supposed to skate the contest. I was just coming to film, and then some people didn't show up, and then I ended up in there. And it's not even bad because I'm just filming with my friends that I film with all the time anyway. So if anything, it's just like keeps me warmed up, and I have a blast doing both. So I'm psyched to be out here and doing both, and fucking, yeah.
Crowd favorite. What are you going to pull out of the bag to try and make that top 6 to get to Minneapolis?
Just hope that I get lucky, I guess.
All right, boys, do you like him? You want him to make it to the top 6? Sounds like they do. Guys?
Thank you, Corbin. Yeah, Chris Gregson is Grayson Fletcher's personal filmer. So he was out here for Grayson. Grayson doesn't qualify, but Chris Gregson does. Well, coming right up, run number 2 here from Boise, Idaho. Well, we're a little over a month away from the inaugural X Games Minneapolis going down July 13th through the 16th. You can get your tickets now at xgames.com/tickets. Jimmy, I see you on your laptop right now trying to buy up US Bank Stadium.
I'm loading up, you know. They make great gifts for friends. X Games tickets, why not? Let's fill that place up.
Well, run one here in the men's skateboard park final in the books. Tom Shar, who was the last to drop in, put down an 88.66. He is in the lead, but the start list kicks back up. Local boy, Dalton Beeson, going down attempt number 2. He's currently in 10th place.
Well, the local boy looking to make good here. Again, it is 3 runs, the best of your 3 runs count. And remember, as we roll through this here today, half of the field getting invited to that little event we just teased to you as we started the top of this order. July 13th to the 16th, and here we go. Dalton Beeson, the big frontside air over the hip, tweaking that one out.
Again, this is Beeson's home park. No one knows this bowl better than Dalton, and you could tell in his first run, so comfortable, covered probably more ground than just about anybody.
They're working the frontside invert. It's kind of a pocket section there, that deep end. Kind of had a little bit of a curve to it there. There's a tuck knee invert, so 2 invert variations for you in that little combo line there. Going for that.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's what did him in the first run. He tried to stall up on that pillar, and I'm pretty sure that's what did him in the first run. So looking like he's going to get a full pull right here, and there you go.
Dalton living dangerously, but showing his prowess. Undoubtedly, he'll be moving out of that 10th spot and up in the standings, but how far, we shall see.
Putting it down like a lumberjack with the flannel, the beanie, the mustache.
It's a quality look.
There's that frontside invert. Watch this backside boneless. Put the foot down, and then tuck knee invert right out of that. That's the 1, 2, 3 little combo there, right there. Boost up, put both sets of wheels on that support column, grab frontside, pop off of that thing right away like a boss.
Improves his score to a 67.66 and jumps up a couple spots. Again, here in the final, each of our 12 skaters getting 3 attempts on this course. We count the best score with 6 spots up for grabs to get in to the park final at X Games Minneapolis. Brad Mcclain, who was our early leader, is sitting in 5th place. That's how talented this field is as he boosts into run number 2.
Boosting that Slav air and kind of kicks out that back leg just a little bit. Look how he just glides through on that frontside 5-0 on that pull coping there. Oh, how about a frontside 5-0 to fakie? Bringing that one in backwards. And it was a pretty lengthy grind. He holds onto that grind, eats up some real estate on that, and then just, whoop, I'm going to slide that one in backwards just for extra points, extra style points right there. How about a frontside grab, front truck smack, or nose pick, if you will, up on top of that wall ride column, and a grind revert. And again, going back to what I said earlier about that pull coping, it can be grippy. It's porous. It can grab your truck and it can stop you. So for him to power through that and revert out of that,
This is the soul
nice to watch.
of bowl skating. California Ramp Works are the best in the business. They do all of our ramps and park courses at X Games. They didn't touch this. This is an actual course here in Boise, Idaho.
It was actually a Slob Japan right there. Look at that. See, he grabs frontside and he just smacks that front truck ever so slightly there. Call that a nose pick. Frontside nose pick up on top. I mean, there's a lot of vert on that thing.
69.33, so not enough to best his run 1 score. 5th is where he will stay.
As of right now, though, you're in one of those spots. You want to give yourself a little bit more breathing room. There's still a lot of skating left to go. We still have round 3 yet to come. But as of right now, Brad Mcclain looking at a potential invite spot to Minneapolis.
The top 6 will be moving on. Here's Willie Lara. Did not have the first run that he was looking for. Didn't seem phased by it, though. What's he got for attempt number 2?
Well, he's got a really stylish and poppy backside alley to start this party off. And how about a indie grab disaster? Do you see how he ever so slightly grabs that board before he smacks it into the disaster portion of that trick? There's a trail slide going front side, lead hand grabs ahead of your front foot and slide the tail across the coping.
20 seconds left on
Already a much better run than what we saw from Lara previously.
Popping into that backside transfer over the hip, and you see he just ever so slightly kicks out that back foot just to give it that little extra extension, a little extra style points as it goes over the hip. And oh, the front side nose blunt.
Don't forget your phone, Willie.
Someone needs to tell Willie that he left his cellular device in the flat bottom there.
What are friends for?
Hopefully he's making a long-distance international call right there. Run up your cell plan there.
Corey Juneau helping him out, grabbing his phone. Willie Lara was not able to cap off that run number 2, but as you could see, the bag of tricks are there much better than his first attempt.
See how he boosts into that, though, that into your grabbing with your trailing hand, you're turning backside, and then just pops that thing into disaster. I like the style when he does his disasters because whether it's a grab or an ollie, he gets up into it, and at the apex of whether he's ollieing or doing the grab, then he just lets go and just slams that thing into a disaster and pops it back over real quick. I'm a fan of that style.
Again, Tom Shar, our current leader. Reynolds right behind him. Alex Argenta rounding out that top 3, but it's the top 6 that you want to get into, and Lara just missing out on a 70.66. He'll get one more attempt.
He feels no pressure. Look at that face. He didn't even look to see if he cracked his screen when he dropped his phone, Brandon. That is a man that feels no pressure right now.
So here's Chris Gregson, our filmer, our follow cam, currently sitting in 11th place. Had a fun run 1. Can he up the ante, jump up his score, and make some noise into that top 6? Whoa.
A frontside kickflip there on that little hip feature. And you know what? He gets to keep his legs going, keep his legs hot in between everybody's runs because he's out there doing follow cam.
No one is riding this course more than Chris Gregson. But as he said to Corbin earlier, it's all gravy at this point. He didn't even expect to be skating in this competition, let alone making it into the finals with a chance to get into X Games Minneapolis.
All right, so he's under 10 seconds left to go here. Another frontside ollie, so rock and roll up on the deep end there. Stylish, but almost looked a little lost at the end of the run here. Not trying to pick it apart there, but I think the first run's going to be the better of the two. He just looked like something threw him off there in the latter 9 seconds of that. He wasn't quite sure where he wanted to go at that
Well, you know what, Jimmy? He's getting paid regardless.
Exactly. There's the front side alley-oop, 270 again, alley-oop, drifting the opposite direction that you're turning. So he's turning to the right, but he's drifting to the left, and there you go. Runs over, don't need to see your score. Get the pack back on, buckle up because you're in next, partner. You got to follow the next guy, which is Asher Bradshaw.
So after a 64.66 on run number 1 that was good enough for 11th place, ups his score 67, jumps up a spot. He has no idea.
Not only is he taking extra runs, all that equipment weighs quite a bit. That's a lot of stuff that you're skating around with. Not to mention, you got to kneel down through a lot of this when you're following these skaters. You're moving at a pretty high rate of speed, and you got to hold the camera steady. They don't need Jittery Joe out there doing this. Not everybody gets the job.
Follow cam is no
easy
feat. Absolutely. So here's 13-year-old Asher Bradshaw, our youngest in the field. Had the fans going crazy during his first run. Can he bump up at least one position and get into the top 6?
There you go, corking out another one of those backside 540s. I don't know that the landing was as good as what we saw earlier.
Oh!
So he's got 2 of those. That one's gonna cost him a little bit. Judges don't like to see trick repetition if you want to get into the minutia of things and the overall scope of what the judges are looking at.
Oh! And that will do it for Asher's second run. You know, I was talking to him yesterday, Jimmy, and he said that he had only found out he was skating in this contest the day before. So this kid's only 3 days removed from even discovering that he'd be here today.
As you're 13, you could just blow that one right off. So that was the second of the 2 540s there. And again, I'm not downplaying a backside 540 in a concrete park. It's gnarly, but that plays into that variety thing. The judges don't like to see you repeating tricks. If you could do the same trick, but you throw a different variation into it or something to set it apart from the first time that you did it, that's one thing. But doing 2 backside 540s right there, you kind of got a little bit of a sketchy landing on the second one. So definitely going to stick with that first run score.
Yeah, Bradshaw will put some pressure on himself to deliver on his 3rd and final attempt. Here's Clay Kriner, a guy that we expect to see in the top 6, but currently he's in 11th place
trying to replace that 66. Right now, Corey Juneau is sitting in that bubble spot, so he would need to best a 72.33 to jump into that group.
So Clay's got a good run, but if you remember in round one, he got hung up in that smaller bowl corner down there off to the side of the deep end on a grind, on something really basic. So you get that out of the mix, you erase that from the equation and maybe throw a couple extra things into the mix here, you could definitely see Clay step up in the standings there. There's that lofty frontside stalefish, and from that angle, you can really appreciate the tweak, the extension that he puts into that. With the invert there, the eggplant. There's the stalefish, but going, grabbing and doing the tail slide, the frontside stalefish tail slide there. So he's got a couple little combo lines working through that deep end, coming up to the shallow side here, and with the lean to tail, there's those vert skills coming into play. Remember, he's already invited to compete in Minneapolis in both vert as well as skate big air.
So a much better run out of Clay Kriner here on attempt number 2. How does he end it?
Massive.
Oh my goodness!
A massive backside 540. And again, there's those vert skills coming into play. Throws a frontside lip slide in the end for good measure there.
And as you just said about Asher before, seeing that back 5 that high right near the judges, how can that not impact you? What a run for Clay Kriner.
It's, you know, it's a nice thing to throw in at the end of your run, especially at that height.
When you can get that amplitude that Clay Kriner can get, you get bonus points, no doubt about it.
It's definitely something that they're going to factor in, that they're going to talk over, but you know, you tend to run out of gas at the end of a run. You've been pumping through this course and whatnot. Your mind's racing, the blood's pumping, your heart's beating. So for him to blast that height, I think we're going to get another look at it right here. Boom.
Clay, come on down. We're worried about you, buddy.
Representing Simpsonville, South Carolina.
An 85, Kriner, welcome to the top 6 as he jumps all the way in to second place.
I told you, he had that slip up on a basic trick in that first run. You take that out of the equation, he gets the run that he wanted. Not only is he in the top 6, our boy's in the top 3 as of right now.
He's got to be feeling very good after attempt number 2. Tristan Rennie. He's currently in the top 6, sitting in 5th place.
Coming into the deep end over the love seat there. You see how that little part just sticks out underneath the coping in that deep end corner right there. Grinding around that love seat portion there. How about a backside 360 coming in fakie, going into that wall right feature. Gets up. I called it a body jar earlier. It doesn't really kind of a tail drag, if you will. It's right there in the middle. It's still impressive and it's still stylish up on top of what is essentially 2.5, maybe 3 feet of vert up there. Just kind of dragging and skipping that tail off the corner of the lip there. How about a kind of a backside nose pick, scratching the truck?
Rennie covering a lot of ground in this run as he's got room for maybe one more. So Tristan's in 5th place, and you might assume, well, that's safe, that's top 6, but right now with still 1 attempt to go, and a lot of these skaters a second attempt on top of their 3rd, now you want to climb the standings. You don't want to be in 6th right now, but 5th isn't a familiar or comfortable place to be either.
He's got another run to go, but I think that first run's going to be the higher scoring of the two, and you see how he kind of had to squat out of that there. Watch that, grab an Indy, trailing hand, turning backside, around your trailing leg, and just lets go and just pop into that disaster. Disaster, one truck is in the ramp or in the course, if you will, and the other truck is over the deck. So when you hear me say disaster, that's what I'm referring to. You've got one truck on the deck, one truck in the course.
A solid second run score, but not enough to top his first attempt. 5th place is where he will stay.
I think he had more volume and variety in that first run. Almost, I mean, again, not to downplay anything at all in that run. It was impressive. Almost seemed like he was kind of in cruise control mode. But he's still in the top 6 as of right now.
So here's Federico. He's sitting in 12th place. What can he do to make some noise and jump up into that top 6?
Well, from that vantage point, you couldn't tell, but that was kind of a step up. He went into a Smith stall, so the back truck locks onto the top of that thing, and the front truck is in the lip of that feature, but he had to ollie off of that, clear a little bit of real estate to drop down into that 4-foot quarter pipe.
And if you're just joining us, we're in the middle of run number 2. Clay Kriner, the only one so far to move into the top 6 during this run, and it doesn't look like Federico will be joining him.
Well, he was trying to up the ante on the difficulty there going over that hip. Looked like he was trying to kick flip, backside grab, 180. I liked what he was trying to do in that run. Remember, he had a couple of falls in round number 1, and that's what's got him down there all the way at the bottom of the pack for the Italian skater there. But I like what he was trying to do there.
So Federico trying to get out of the basement, sitting in 12th place, trying to replace that 47.33. Not gonna like what he sees on this run 2 score, so he's putting a lot of pressure on himself to stand and deliver.
Yeah,
Final attempt time.
I felt that was definitely the better of the two. So you
Certainly,
see
yeah.
that improves the score, but not the placing. And as you said, pressure's kind of on. And again, we've mentioned this a couple of times, but it's worthy bringing up again. Yes, it's physical, but there's a big mental game that's involved in this as well.
So next to drop in, sitting in 4th place, Alex Argenta. Let's bring in the 3rd member of our team, Corbin Harris, who knows Alex very well. Corbin, what do you think we can expect out of Alex here on run number 2?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to up the ante little by little. You know, this second run, he's going to throw a couple of different tricks in there. He knows he's already got that spot to Minneapolis. Look at that blunder fakie. I was talking to him earlier, and he just learnt that blunder fakie maybe 3 minutes before the contest started.
And Corbin, while we have you, we've noticed just the increase in what he's brought to the table each year at X Games as he goes down hard. But for someone who skates with him like you do, how gratifying has it been to see his skating improving as far as contests go year to year?
He's one of those skateboarders that just keeps improving. I've actually known him since he's been 15 years old, traveling through all the European circuit. He's one of those skateboarders that he puts his mind to something and he just can do it. He can do whatever he wants. So, you know, he's still only young. In the next couple of years, he's just going to blow up. And I can't wait to see what we can get out of him.
Yeah, let's take another look. Corbin, what do you see here on this fall? Ooh.
He's just been caught up on his back truck there, it seems like, and gone down pretty hard. But, you know, he is hard as nails. He's going to get back up, and I'm sure he's going to bring it to us in that 3rd run.
Thank you, Corbin Harris. Yeah, so we'll see how much that appeared to be shoulder that just slammed into will affect him. But right now, Sargente sitting in 4th place.
Shoulder and elbow, man. That was full commitment. That was a cavalier aerial to nose pick. So coming up backwards, fakie 360, ollie, and just puts that front truck down. And he came in, he was committed, and just went to the hip and the elbow. We'll see him in round number 3.
So Clay Kriner jumped into the top 6. Good for him, not for Corey Juneau, who got bounced out from that 6th spot in the 7th. He's going to need to up the ante if he wants to get back into that final group of 6.
2017 Bondi Bowl-A-Rama winner just a couple of months ago. Definitely making a name for himself in parking competitions and into that frontside nose grind. And that porous pool coping just hangs onto that front truck. Come back after the fall. How about a backside nose blunt to 180 out the hard way. Coming in blindside on that. That was a nifty little thing he did.
So not the run Corey Juneau had in his first attempt. Undoubtedly, he'll hold on to that first score of 72.33. Right now, Brad Mcclain is sitting in that 6th and final spot.
So it was hard to tell because that replay happened really fast, but that backside disaster up on top of that support column wall ride, right when he stalls into that, the tail of his board was touching the concrete wall. There's no room for error on that because you're committed with how tall that feature is. And you're just hanging on for dear life coming out of it. These guys have just been fearless with that thing.
Speaking of fearless, here's Hamana Reynolds, who came out on fire with a strong 82 on run number 1. He held the top spot, at least temporarily, until Tom Shar took it from him. But let's see what Hamana's got for run number 2.
Slav air kind of straight-legged coming out of that one and just stylish going through
Oh
the
my
frontside grind. There's that nose grab, 450. How about a Smith stall, the front disaster there? All that happening so fast.
This surf-inspired style, and he's blasting. I feel like I'm seeing traces of current Caples out here today.
Well, that was a change up in the line there. That front side lip slide, he tried to go from low to high, coming up off of that. That's about, I call it a 5-foot transition up to the 9-foot there in the deep end, and that one, just, the board just stuck on the pool coping there.
Oh my goodness, Hamana. Save it for your third run, my man.
How did he do that on that tiny little transition? They look at boosting that frontside ollie. This is what starts it off here. And then out of that, we'll see if you see it. Goes away in the grab. That was a slob here, grabbing with your lead hand, turning frontside. There's the nose grab, just feather touch, man. Just grabbing the nose of the board with a couple of fingers there. Frontside Smith to frontside disaster. 2-in-1 combo there and the fast moving little lip trick.
And Hamana is just a guy we haven't seen at a lot of contests. So for him to come out here to Boise today, put it down.
Disney XD Summer Next Winter 2010.
Who could forget that momentous occasion
Let's
7 years ago,
let's
Jimmy?
let's not put it on the back burner is what I'm saying.
We haven't seen a lot of Hamana, and goodness me, he's been saving it up for today because he's looking awfully good heading in to third and final attempt. Here is Tom Shar, our current leader. What can he possibly do, Jimmy, to up his score?
He can nose bonk that vert wall on the top and move his front foot to where he almost leans too far forward, falls off, but hangs on. He is looking so good. About a 540 in the deep end, but grabbing the nose, that is so hard to do. Anytime you're grabbing the nose of your board and spinning, your back foot has a tendency to kind of drift off the tail and float around a little bit.
I'm not sure why Tom even bothers with the beanie anymore. It flips off every run. So he'll hold on to his run one score as he stays in the top spot.
Maybe some two-sided tape could be in the future. I don't know. Go for the old Indiana Jones move right there.
So Shar stays in first place. He's feeling good heading into final attempts time. Take another look at this.
Watch this. Oh, did you see that front foot? There was daylight between the sole of that shoe and the grip tape right there.
That's not right.
That could have been bad.
It wasn't right, Jim.
I mean, that thing is tall. That is a tall structure. And have I mentioned, it's concrete, which isn't very forgiving when you fall on it.
A 62.33 for Shar. He will hold on to his top score. Run 2 is done here in Boise. And it's Tom Shar holding on to the top spot. Now we're getting into final attempts time. It's Brad Mcclain that you got to keep your eyes on as he's sitting in that 6th position. Corbin Harris is with him now.
Yeah, I've got the man himself right here, sitting in 6th position. Before we go into that, talk to us about the road to Boise that you've had. You drove from LA over the last couple of days. You've been camping. Yesterday, you're in the car for how long and how much warm-up did you get?
Yeah, we left Portland area at like 5 a.m. yesterday morning, drove 7 hours, and got here maybe 30 minutes before it started. Never been to this park ever, so I pretty much just jumped into it straight into my run.
And then Kevin Kowalski, I heard, he slept the whole way, but then you beat him in the long run.
Yeah, he had it pretty easy, but he was sleeping the whole time I was driving, but it's all good. I was stoked he came with us.
All right, Brad, you're in that 6th position right now to make it to Minneapolis. What are you thinking? What's your strategy going to be moving forward in this 3rd run?
I just stayed on for both my runs, so, dude, I'm stoked. This is the first X Games I've done in a while, so I'm just happy to be back, and whatever happens, I'm fine with.
All right, good luck with run number 3.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, Corbin. Will we see Brad Mcclain in Minneapolis? Will we see you in Minneapolis? X Games Minneapolis going down July 13th through the 16th, excuse me. Tickets now on sale, xgames.com/tickets. I love that story. He and Kevin Kowalski in the car driving up yesterday. Kowalski not earning a spot in the finals. Mcclain does.
I believe in that qualifier yesterday that Brad's last run actually bumped Kowalski
Yeah.
out. Kowalski was on the bubble spot to make it into the finals. That's going to be an interesting drive back to
Took the
Portland
words
or
right
LA.
out of my mouth.
Like, you know what? I'm happy for you, but you're paying for all the gas on the way home.
Well, it'll be all worth it if Mcclain can hold on to his spot and move on into X Games Minneapolis. And just like that, it's final attempts time. Local boy Dalton Beeson, currently in 10th place. Can we have a fairy tale ending and have the Boise local squeak into the top 6?
Well, he looks like he's got a little more intensity, a little more drive going here in this run. Look how fast he slingshots through those bull corners. A couple of frontside airs to the backside air, and there's an Indy air, kind of straight leg. That Indy air, wild style right there. Kind of grabbing more towards the top end, or the front end of the board, I should say, on that Indy air. There's that wall ride bonk again. No, the stale fish. The grab just gets away from him, and that will pretty much put the period on it there for Dalton Beeson.
The fans on edge here at Rhodes Skatepark as they watch one of their own, Boise native Dalton Beeson, put it down for his 3rd and final attempt. A solid showing, but Jimmy, I don't think it will be enough to move him up.
Now that second run score, I think, is going to be the one that hangs on for him. No, it's for, yeah, second run score. Look at, that's a great angle on that frontside boneless.
But again, another terrific story nonetheless for Dalton Beeson in his hometown.
It's great for him, and it's great for the city of Boise. I mean, it's great for the
No
city
doubt.
that this event's here. Everyone's thrilled about it. It's a great skate park. I mean, it's a phenomenal facility here. And
Yeah, and you can't see it, but right next to this bowl is a fantastic street plaza.
yeah, it's a really nifty skate park. And, you know, it's great for them to have a hometown here to root for here in this event.
So here's Brad Mcclain. He's sitting in that bubble spot, 6th place. Right now, he would be going to Minneapolis, but he wants to give himself some breathing room. How can he best a 74, really a 78.66 that Tristan Rennie has, and jump up at least one spot?
I'll tell you one thing, Brandon. He doesn't look like a guy that just skated this thing for 30 minutes before the comp started yesterday.
Unreal, that story.
He hasn't skipped a beat here, so a little slide out. Definitely going to throw him off for this run here, so he's going to have to sit through the rest of this competition in the bubble spot with 10 more guys. Oh, the frontside rock and roll slider. Big old boneless. Looked like he got a little bit of the tail on that one on the way back in. I got a hurricane grind out of that one as well. Not a bad way to come back after that fall. That second run's going to be the better of the two for him, but he's going to have to watch. There's still 10 more guys left to go. So he's going to have to wait and see what happens here.
There's 5 other skaters behind him who could bump him out of the top 6, so not a safe spot to be in at all.
Here you go, frontside rock and roll slider. Boosting that boneless. At the end of that, it looked like he smacked his tail on the lip, so a little bonus style points there, if you will. But yeah, that 74 is going to be the best one.
Yep, a 71 does not jump him up.
Well, he's in a transfer spot right now. He's looking at a potential invite. Time will tell for Mr. Mcclain as we move forward here in this 3rd and final round.
Next to drop in, 19 years old, out of Moore Park, California. He rides for Real Skateboards. Currently in 9th place, Willie Lara.
All right, so there's that backside ollie. There's that Indy grab. It's a late poppy disaster, if you will.
Willie had a much better second attempt than what we saw in run number 1. Can he improve again on his 3rd attempt?
All right, so he's taking the grab to disaster both directions. There was an Indy one and a frontside one. Coming up here to the high end, or the shallower portion of the course. Kind of working a little kick turn slider up on that vert wall. I like the style, popping in to a frontside nose grind. Frontside, I look at the front foot popped off just a bit right there. I have to see that again on the replay. And then that ollie fakie drifting over the hip just gets away from him.
Yeah. Lara having trouble again finishing his run.
I thought he was going to get through it. I thought this was going to be the one that he was going to get the full pull down. Watch that, grabbing, Indy, bam, slams it into disaster, and it the latter part of that happens so fast. And there on that frontside nose grind, you see how he just kind of pops off the nose there. And I was right, it was a 1-foot frontside ollie. Just kind of
never doubt yourself, Jimmy.
Well, it's
I
hard
believe in you.
It's hard sometimes in the shadows. You get going into the shadows.
Yeah, especially at this time of day. This skate park is half shadow, half light.
Well, he's using the light side right now. Just kind of, he's going to get some rays. He's going to kick back, watch the rest of this competition unfold. That is a very casual, calm, cool, collected Willie Lara.
That is how he skated all day. So trying to best that 70.66.
Trey Wood there on your right-hand side of the screen. Up-and-coming talented skater in multiple divisions.
71.33, improves his score and jumps up one spot, but does not get into the top 6. His day is over, but a great day of skating nonetheless. And now here's one of our favorites, because he's also on payroll, Chris Gregson, who has been our follow cam today, also competing, currently sitting in 11th place. A great story nonetheless.
I thought maybe he would try to actually do one of these runs while wearing the actual cam pack, just for posterity's sake, just to see, like, all right, you're skating around all day with all that weight on your back. Why not? There's the front side 180 blunt. So the blunt, you're going up on top of any ramp, structure, obstacle, if you will, and you're just, it's the tail end of the board that's up against the lip. So the back wheels are over the coping, or the lip, if you will, and you're no grab, you're awing and just popping around. It's all fancy footwork right there. Well, he just focused his board, so that'll definitely, I guess he's gonna have to run essentially now for the follow cam after all this.
I'm assuming that he has a bigger follow cam board, but I don't know. If you're just joining us, Chris Gregson was not even supposed to be skating in this contest. He came as Grayson Fletcher's personal filmer, ends up getting a spot in eliminations, earning a spot into today's final, while also serving as our follow cam today. Simply fantastic. I don't think it will be enough to move him up a 49, but a great day for Gregson. Get a drink, but we need you back out on the course there, Chris.
When I say focus, that's breaking the board. For those of you that are like, what does that mean?
Asher Bradshaw, this kid has been nails today. Really put on a great first run, 70.66. He's currently in 9th place. Jimmy, what can he do to jump into that top 6?
Well, he had some troubles in that second go-around. And again, we talked about it earlier with the trick repetition. He did a couple of 540, a couple of same grabs. And
whoa! Rides away, but runs out of speed. He's got to make some time up here as he gets into final 20 seconds.
All right, so he's changing up the line here, and there's, oh no, Asher. The front side kickflip doesn't pan out, but I like what he was doing in the earlier portion of this.
Show us what you got for flat ground these last 10, Asher.
Scoop that hat back.
But again, so tough, because he all he did for me is make me wonder what could have been. He rides away from that, but just loses the speed, and as you said, had to change course on his line.
Well, you're going to be seeing a lot of this young man in years to come there. So right here, corking up. This was a backside stalefish grab 540. So yes, it was 2 540s. Going back to that repetition thing, it was 2 different grabs. So the stalefish, you're grabbing with your trailing hand in front of your trailing foot. And when you're doing that turn and backside, that puts you in a weird position to spin 1.5 times around. So it's 2 different grabs and a different way of spinning it around. So changing up the line a little bit.
Well, Asher will not be moving on, but a top 10 finish here at an X Games qualifier, nothing to sneeze at. He can keep his head up high. Here's a guy.
Well, he's 15. The kid's not going, or 13, excuse me. He's not going anywhere. He'll be around for years to come.
Here's a guy that's feeling good, sitting in 2nd place. He's already got a spot at X Games Minneapolis in big air and vert. Can he add to that, earning a spot in park?
Clay is on the mission to make it a trifecta, and right now he's in a great spot for that. As I say that, and he can't hold on to that grab. However, his second run has got him in 2nd place as of right now with that 85. So that is it's a pretty comfy spot to be here since we're in the 3rd and final round. Still got about 13 seconds left here. See what he wants to do with this.
We saw Clay at X Games Austin last year, where he finished a very respectable 6th place in his debut. But as you can see, he's capable of hitting that podium, and he's capable of doing it in all 3 disciplines, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's got some skills, man. He's got a deep arsenal of tricks, but the amplitude and just the pop that guy has. Look at it on that stale fish right there. That is just a good-looking trick. Grabbing, trailing hand just in front of your trailing foot, turning front side, and just kind of straightens that back leg out, make it look good right in the camera guy's face. And yeah, he's a vert powerhouse. He's got a lot of different 540 variations. And just the way that he boosts on a vert ramp, and I've only seen him skate big air a couple of times, but right now the story for him, he's looking to make this his 3rd Minneapolis invite. He's already in a vert, he's already in a big air, and right now he's in the driver's seat to earn himself a park invite.
Well, in a contest that's been rich in storyline today, perhaps Tristan Rennie has been sneaky under the radar, as he's currently in 5th place.
Which, at this point in time, keep in mind, that's still good enough to get him an invite as of right now.
Right. There's still a couple guys that could potentially bump him out, but right now, 5th in the top 6 move on to X Games Minneapolis. Steady improvement here, trying to replace that 78.66. Could give him a little bit more breathing room.
Go blunt slide around the corner over that love seat there. Foot all over the hip, goes for the backside nose grab, 3 to fakie. Frontside Smith stall, smacks the tail on the re-entry there, coming off of that. Couple of seconds left to go. Indie grab into the backside disaster. Time winding down here, he'll get one more as he hits that vert wall. Whoa!
Oh!
That could have been bad. That spits you off to the backside like that. That's a good way to bonk the back of your head there. That could have been rough.
Take another look, Tristan Rennie.
So boost this front side boneless. You're planting your lead foot, grabbing, turning front side, and right out of that, a nose grab, 450 over the hip. Nifty little line right there.
So Rennie sitting in 5th place. Is that enough to give him a, and it does, 81.33. So Rennie jumps into 4th. And with the spot to X Games Minneapolis on the line, he just improved his chances, jumping up a spot in the top 6.
Well, that's what you want to do. You want to give yourself some breathing room going into that pre-run. He was in 5th, so you're on the edge of the bubble there. So it was only a 1 spot improvement, but an improvement is good at this stage of the game nonetheless. With just a handful of skaters left to go here. So we're down to 5.
So Tristan Rennie saves his best for last as he jumps up into 4th. Here's a guy that's trying to jump up, Ivan Federico. He's sitting in 12th place. What does the Italian have in store for his final attempt?
That's kind of how he started off it's exactly how he started off run at number 2, but you get a better angle at it that time around. Oh, there's that flip body jar. The body jar part of that is where you're smacking the tail in on the lip on the way back in while turning backside.
All right, 20 seconds left.
And corking up a McTwist. It's a 540, but you're grabbing mute. That's what a McTwist is. There you go.
Yes, Ivan.
Kick flip, grab the nose, body jar, and it happens so fast. That is a good looking trick. So he came back and made it the second go around, decided I'm gonna do it in the deep end this time, over off the side of the bowl corner. That one was for the fans.
Federico making some noise on his 3rd and final attempt. He had some ground to make up as he sits in 12th place.
There's the McTwist, you're grabbing mute. It's the lead hand around the lead knee there. There, flip, grab the nose, boom, body jar. Got a little bit of the tail. It was a tail graze, but that happens so fast. It just, at real-time speed, it's pretty darn impressive to see. What is this gonna do?
A 70.
Best score of the day.
So that does jump him up into 10th place, not enough into the top 6.
Looking a bit out of gas at the end of that one there, but it's pretty nifty stuff right there.
So here's Alex Argenta. He's sitting in 5th place right now. He's in that top 6 group.
Remember, he took a pretty good knock at the end of his second run. Got a little bit of the shoulder and what appeared to be the elbow falling on this concrete, which is not too forgiving here. See what Mr. Sorgente can get done with. There's that blunt coming in fakey, meaning coming in backwards up on top of that super tall structure with about 2.5, maybe 3 feet of vert.
So the only guy at this point that's on the outside looking in is Corey Juneau. Brad Mcclain continues to be on that bubble spot. So right now, Sorgente is actually qualified in. He is in that top 6, regardless of how this third and final attempt goes, which is good for him because this is not the attempt he was looking for. Sorgente will be moving on into that group of final 6.
And he just did the trick that he fell on at the end of his second run, that cab to nose pick, but he stomped it with authority at the end of it. He stalled right on that front truck. That's what we call the nose pick portion of that, but just kind of like slammed into it and held it for a hot second and then pivoted in.
So again, as we take another look at Sorgente's third run, we turn our attention to that 6th and final bubble spot.
Right here.
Brad Mcclain.
Watch this. Pow, right there. Stalls it for a second on that front truck.
Brad Mcclain has been sitting on that 6th spot all of this third and final attempt. He's sitting at a 74. The only guy left that can bump him is next to drop in, 17-year-old Corey Juneau, who's in 7th place. There we see Brad Mcclain completely on edge. Will he be moving on to X Games Minneapolis? He's gonna find out right now. Corey Juneau would need to best a 74 to knock Mcclain off.
Well, he's got 45 seconds as a blank canvas to try to impress the judges here. Here we go. Last guy on the outside of the top 6 looking in. Starts it off with a massive and stylish, by the way, front side ollie.
The top 5 are safe. Brad Mcclain in the bubble spot is the only one that Corey Juneau can knock off and get a spot in the X Games Minneapolis.
Okay, so he's got that backside disaster up on top of that huge vert wall there again. It's 2 for 2. He may be 3 for 3 on that one either. No!
Oh!
The front side nose blunt is what does him in. You can see the frustration. He went into that.
That was just brutal to see, Jimmy, because he was really putting a run together to make things interesting.
It was going to get interesting for sure. And you can see Brad is, he's like, oh,
well,
all right.
Brad knows nothing is given. While we can sit here in the booth and assuredly say that he will be moving on to Minneapolis, nothing's official until that score comes across.
It's officially unofficial until it's official. Should go into politics with that kind of rhetoric.
A 72.33, then a 53.33 on run number 2. Corey Juneau on his third attempt had a chance to knock off Brad Mcclain. He's unable to do that, so our top 6 are officially set. We still have 2 more skaters to drop for their final attempts, but we know exactly who's moving on to X Games Minneapolis. Brad Mcclain, a sigh of relief.
And how about this for a guy that got out of the car 30 minutes before the elimination round yesterday and had never skated this park before. Welcome to Minneapolis, sir.
What a story, Brad Mcclain. Fresh out of the car, jumps into eliminations yesterday, and he holds on by the seat of his pants. Here's a guy that really needs no introduction if you've been watching today. Hamana Reynolds, 18 years old, out of Honolulu, absolutely flying out of this bowl all day. He's in third. He will be moving on to X Games Minneapolis. This one truly for the fans.
And maybe using this one as a dry run, looking towards Minneapolis next month here. Check out the high-speed lines there. Frontside stand-up grind through the left seat and a boosting nose grab 450. That might have been the biggest one of the 3 that he's done out here. So sticking pretty much with the same formula that's worked for him out here all weekend long, essentially.
And has just looked completely in control all 3 of his runs, Jimmy.
Yeah, just, you know, very smooth, very methodical at what he does. Planting the hand with the eggplant there. Kind of extending that one out a bit. Off of the top of that ledge feature and ollies into the tickets to the gun show there.
The shirt pops off with an invitation to Minneapolis. Welcome to the X Games, Hamana.
Well, consistency was definitely on this gentleman's side here. The last 2 days of skateboard competition here. Looking solid out there. This is what started it off.
But again, what a story, Jimmy. Yes, the X Games next, back in 2010. And there we
Runs
see.
over, shirts off.
It's a party here in Boise. Does he best his score? No, just barely missing it. 81.66. Third place is where he will stay, but he moves on to X Games Minneapolis. We just haven't seen this guy in a lot of contests to come to a stage like this in a pressure cooker and deliver. Just can't say enough about the young Hawaiian.
And it's pretty chilly out there, so someone might want to get him a jacket or a wrap after that. I'm not sure. You don't want to catch cold.
So Tom Shar is our last to drop in. He took the lead with his first attempt and then never looked back. That 88.66, so commanding. And I believe we have a doubles run.
Why not have a little fun with it here? You got a glory run. You've already won this thing. You're the last guy to skate by virtue of the elimination round.
We've got Chris Gregson, our skate filmer. I don't see the camera, but he is out there with Tom Shar. This one for the fans.
I wonder whose board he's on, because remember he broke his board at the end of his run.
Tom Shar didn't need it. He's moving on to X Games Minneapolis as if there was any doubt. He set the tone in his first attempt, and there was no looking back.
Yeah, he's been on a tear. 5-time X Games medalist at only 17 years old.
He is the crafty vet at this point. It's
remarkable.
It sounds
crazy to say that at 17 years old, but he's a veteran.
So the men's skate park final officially in the books, and there you see our top 6 moving on to X Games Minneapolis. Tom Shar, Clay Kriner, Hamana Reynolds, Tristan Rennie, Alex Argenta, and Brad Mcclain. What a performance. Those 6 will be joining Pedro Barros, Curran Caples, and Chris Russell. Let's head down to Corbin, who's with Tom Shar.
Yes, I have Tom Shar here. Congratulations. Boise, what do you think of Tom Shar? You've basically had control of this contest since the quarterfinals. You qualified first. You've been first in your first run. Where's your headspace going in Minneapolis?
I don't know. I'm just happy I made it through, and I can't wait to go to Minneapolis, new spot for X Games, and it'll be fun.
You've already had 5 X Games medals, 1 Big Air, which I was happy to host when you first got your gold. You just also won the Vans contest. Maybe you can get another gold.
I don't know. I'll try and skate my best, see what happens. It'd be cool, though. I don't know.
All right, Tom Shar, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Corbin. Yeah, Tom Shar just putting it down in eliminations and then putting it down on his first run, and there was no looking back, Jimmy Coleman. You know, Pedro Barros and Curran Caples, those have been the names that go back and forth in this event annually here at X Games. I think Tom Shar's going to have something to say here in 2017.
I like the way that he downplayed it when Corbin asked him, like, you going to go for a gold minute? Yeah, I'll try. But, yeah, he's definitely proved that he's a force to be reckoned with. On the park course, especially after coming off of that win at the Vans pool party. That's a huge one, but congratulations to him, and we look to see more out of him in Minnesota next month.
Well, we make it official by heading back down to the course and awarding the top 6 who will be moving on to X Games Minneapolis.
Thank you very much, guys. I am going to bring in X Games host Jack Mantrani right here to give away these awards. And in number 1 position, it is Tom Shar. Second is Clay Kriner. Mr. Reynolds coming in from Hawaii. And six places go through. Tristan Rennie gets a spot in 4th. In 5th spot, Alex Argenta. And 6th, just on that bubble, is Brad Mcclain himself. These are the guys. Let's sit tight for a quick photo. Big round of applause for all the skaters today, all the women and all the men's. And thank you to the Boise crowd themselves for bringing it.
Well, Jimmy Coleman, there you see our top 6 moving on to X Games Minneapolis. Of course, Tom Shar will be the headline, no doubt about it, but really neat to see a couple of rookies, Hamana Reynolds and Tristan Rennie, moving on to their very first X Games.
Yeah, you know, and I gotta mention Brad Mcclain once again. I mean, 30 minutes of practice, gets out of the car, makes it into the finals, and then now gets the invite to Minnesota. And how about Clay Kriner making it 3 events he's going to be competing in? But what a great finish here in Boise.
Chris Russell, Curran Caples, and Pedro Barros all automatically qualified because they got the podium in 2016. So 6 spots were up for grabs. Needless to say, they were absolutely earned here today.
Taking a look at some highlights here as we wrap things up. It was a powerhouse showing out here, but in the end, these top 6 gentlemen will be moving on, as you mentioned, Brandon, to join our 3 podium finishers from last year for the showdown happening at US Bank Stadium, July 13th through the 16th.
It was an exciting park final here. Tom Shar leading the way. A beautiful day in Boise, Idaho. That's going to do it for us here. For Jimmy Coleman and Corbin Harris, I'm Brandon Graham. Thanks for watching.